Influencer marketing, we've had some spotty results because I think the thing that's difficult there is knowing truly putting a number to the impact, the potential impact an influencer can have, because you pay up front, and it's almost the old model of, commercials would use celebrity actors. You kind of just throwing your message out there into the wind, and you just don't quite know, is it going to work or not? I'm not a big fan of influencer marketing for the most part. I would rather be the influencer. I would rather build a community that likes what I have to say. We may not be as good looking as that celebrity or as popular or as entertaining as, the funny people on YouTube. But you know what? We care for you. We've built a relationship. We've interacted in the past. I want our team to be the celebrity in the mind of our customers, not necessarily a random mention by a stranger. That's just nowhere near as powerful. Imagine the powerful position you put yourself in if you become the celebrity endorser of your own product, meaning, you love the product, you've used it, you feel passionate about it, you get online, you interact live with your community. They can't wait to see what you have to say, which is my definition of a good email list. It's a list of people who can't wait to hear what you have to say next. Any kind of good marketing list, that's the most powerful asset you'll ever have, a list of people who can't wait to hear what you have to say next. Work on that instead of trying to find that next perfect celebrity endorsement for your product, which is a one-time burn some money, burn the endorsement, kind of done. You can go back and try to do it again later, but you kind of already been there, done that. So it's a constant hunt for new celebrities. We've never seen a whole lot of effective traction with that model.
I think when people always ask me, okay, who's an influencer? What is an influencer? And what I always tell people is that we're all influencers. We're just influencers on various levels, like myself, you, anyone else that have followers on social media kind of have our own sphere of influencers, but it just goes to different degrees. The next level up would be, we would consider maybe, let's say, local influencers. The next level up would be, I guess you could say media influencers, or specific industry influencers, people that have a sizable audience and would be interested in promoting your particular brand.
To use influencers, I hate paying influencers up front. I think that's a terrible use of money because most of the time they have no incentive to actually promote you because a lot of them are one time, you pay them, they post and they don't care how it goes, most of them. So what we do instead is we give them a percentage of the sales they bring in. So they become partners. And so we do that through Amazon Associate. So they register to be an affiliate and they bring traffic through, for every sales that they give us, they get let's say the 4% of Amazon Associate, but on top of that, we give them 10% more. So this way, if they let's say that they're already promoting other people through Amazon Associate, or Amazon affiliate, however you want to call it, then they get 4%. But if they promote us, they get 14, 15%, whatever. So it just, we try to give them more incentive. So this is just a quick way that works incredibly well. People are a lot more motivated. If I sell your brand, I get 15%. If I sell the other one, I get 2%, 3%. So we got a lot of people promoting us in YouTube videos on their channel, etc. because of that.
Because nowadays, sometimes the kind of social media presence, it's hard to know what's real and what's fake. Maybe they just bought a lot of followers, and you have to make sure that their audience really is relevant to your product, right? The people who are following them, is that your customer avatar? If you can find that, if you can find somebody who really has a voice there and who their customers are loyal. I read an article a couple months ago about a very famous influencer. She had millions of followers and she launched her own clothing brand. And the first day she sold 10 units or something. And that was it. She had to shut it down. And she had more than 1 million because maybe her customers, they were just following her because she has a pretty face or because whatever, it has nothing to do they really, really followed her and will do what she says. So you don't always have to look at the huge influencers. If you can find an influencer with 1,000 followers, but they like worship this person. Like she says, jump, they ask how high, you know, we'll do whatever you want. That might be more valuable than somebody that has, who has like 50,000 followers, because if their followers is your customer avatar, like the beeswax paper, you said, you know, maybe that's a certain demographic, you know, if their influencer suggests to them that, and 25% of them are going to buy it, that's the perfect kind of influencer to find.
Finding people who already have an audience and partnering with them would be another way. So if I wanted to get into, you know, cosmetics, for example, I don't know much about that, and I certainly don't have a cosmetic audience. I'd probably find maybe an Instagram influencer, look at my phone and find somebody, find out where the holes are, and like, oh, they have, probably talk to my wife and say, what are the things that are needed in this audience? Find somebody that has that audience, and say, you're always pitching, you know, Amazon.com's products, or you're pitching Target or all these other companies. What if you and I went together and created this product, and I'll do all the work of bringing it in and all the product side of it, and all you've got to do is tell your people about it. I think that's a huge win-win for some of these Instagram influencers to have their own branded products, because all the time my wife is watching these videos and ladies are pitching Old Navy and all these other companies, and they're making a small percentage, 3, 4, 5% off an affiliate. Why not have their own products and at least make half or all of it if they know how to do the process? But so audience, that's, I would say, you know, partnering with people who have an audience is one way to get started quickly. But also just starting to grow your own audience by finding out where they hang out and serving them with valuable free content. You know, after a while, then you can then say, okay, you know, here's all this, we've been doing all this free content. Now it's time to, you're not telling them this, obviously. Now it's time to monetize it. Hey, we know you guys have been loving this free content. We just launched a new product. Start talking about it. We're going to be launching this new product, and get them excited about it. I know it's available. It's going to be available sometime in August. Yeah, if you already have a eager list of people waiting to buy, that is huge.
I have an email to respond to from an influencer. He thinks my product is kind of generic. He says, what's different about your product from the others on the Amazon or Marketplace? You know, I'm not just going to stick your product on my top 10 list on Amazon on my blog. You know, you got to have something really, really unique. So I think it's just getting more and more competitive, and, you know, you kind of got to differentiate more and more. And I'm making some mistakes. Maybe some new products I should be adding or should be a little bit more unique.
Researching influencer marketing, and I find it's a super complicated one, but that's the one that most like if you talk to YouTubers or other influencers who are talking about Amazon or Shopify, many of them mention, you know, this influencer marketing is easy. Just reach out to Instagram people, reach out to YouTubers, and they will promote your product for you. Well, now imagine you just have some boring, I don't know, kitchen towel, you know, so what, you're gonna like offer your kitchen towel to all of these influencers and they're gonna go and, you know, shout for that? It's not that simple, you know. Plus the most popular influencers have so many requests every day coming to their inbox that is basically, you have to be so creative to knock through those doors there. And I have tried so many ways to get to them, you know. And for example, what I tried, I said, I send them sort of personalized email. So the actual email is a little bit copy-pasted, but the first sentence is personal, something that I went in their website and their content, I looked up what they do specifically and tried to see what value I can give to them. So for example, I sell dresses, right? So I look up all these fashion Instagram people or fashion YouTubers, and I try to think how my dresses, my specific kind of dress, I'm selling long sleeve, humble dresses, right? So I'm trying to find those Instagram people who are just like about humble clothing, you know, they probably from Muslim country or something like that, you know. So I'm trying to target my specific niche. And then when I'm talking to them, I offer my product for free. I send a picture of that product. And sometimes I even personalize it a little bit more by adding their picture in that image. So not like Photoshop their head on my dress, but like just add them, like, featured by, and then that dress next to it, or somehow incorporate their own face in that image so that my email doesn't look like a spam and it's not deleted right away. Because most people, when they read the outreach email, all they do is like this. There's 3 paragraphs, so they'll just read first 2 words from first paragraph, 2 words from the next paragraph, and they will decide if they even want to read the 2 words from the third paragraph, delete. Nobody reads the whole sentence. They just want from the few words to decide what it's about and what do you need. But now if suddenly after this blurb of text there's a picture with their own face on it, they're like, that's interesting. Why is my face there? What did she, so it gets a much, much better attention. And one other thing is to talk only about them in that email. Don't say my dress, we are the best seller of these dresses. Only talk about them, nothing else. For example, you're pitching yourself. So you will say in the first sentence, oh, I saw you're doing these, and I especially like your blue dresses and red dresses and something like that. And you say, I'll send you my dress for free in exchange of you making a video wearing that dress. So I'll send you for free, and then to any sales that you refer to me, I'll give you 50% off for any other purchases that you make with us. So we just keep referring sales to us, and I will give you like a lifetime 50% off from whatever you want to buy from our store. So when they're small influencers, they really care about this kind of thing. So try to talk only about them. And then you say, why would you want this? Well, because you will be more famous, you will be more beautiful, you will be more, all the benefits list there, and that totally works when you're trying to talk only about them and nothing about you.
Influencer marketing.
Affiliate marketing, which is probably one of the most undervalued methods of driving traffic to your listing. Affiliate marketing is unbelievably powerful, not only for your own website, but also for Amazon, because you only pay after it works. You only pay after there's a sale. And so taking time to develop relationships with your affiliates. Tony Casandrinos runs Casandrinos Olive Oil. They have one of the most successful affiliate programs of anybody that I've seen. They just continually engage them. They continually provide them new information, new updates. They give them specials. They send everybody who's an affiliate a free sample. And that engages those people and makes them want to share it. And it's a win-win-win situation. The customer gets exposed to a great product, the affiliate makes money, and the company or the brand gets the sale without having to do it a cost-per-click model. They only pay after it's already worked.
Make an endorsement deal with the celebrity, kind of like Honest Company with Jessica Alba, like partnering up with her, I think gave a giant boost to the brand. So whoever is in the media, if they can promote your brand, wear your shirts or whatever, I think it's something that can be an interesting way to boost your sales. It's like if you're scared of like giving up shares to somebody, I'm happy to give up shares to somebody if it means that the pie becomes bigger and my piece becomes bigger. So why the heck not?
I have experience paying influencers on YouTube. I'll send them a product and I'll pay them like $500 to review it. And they have like a big following. So they post a video, gets a couple 100,000 views. It ranks for keywords on YouTube. And that's resulting in a couple extra sales every day just going to Amazon. That's another variable that can like keep you elevated above your competition, because Amazon will say like, okay, these 2 products, this one's getting an extra 3 sales from off Amazon every day. This must be more relevant to the customer. Let's give them a little preferential ranking. So it's kind of like it builds a snowball. The more things you have feeding into it, the bigger it gets on Amazon as well.
I also talk to people about finding influencers that can help them promote their products. Now, that's not the same thing as sending a free product to somebody and asking for a review or something like that, which is totally not cool on Amazon particularly. But you can find influencers on LinkedIn and YouTube who might be willing to try out your product and help you promote it.
Try to also avoid those influencers who just take freebies. There are some influencers motivated by free stuff, So they just like to receive free stuff. They make whatever video to whatever audience, and then they just get their free stuff. And there's a few of those. And then you look at their channel, there's a lot of boring opening box videos, but nobody's watching it. There's no engagement, So it has to be motivating for them to do it something a little bit more interesting. So try to relate it to other videos that they've done. For example, if YouTuber reviewed a swim bag of some kind. She said, oh, I bought this swim bag and look at my old one, right? Now you're selling a swim bag as well. Tell her, well, I watched this video where you compared the two, well, can you take your new one now, which became old, and compare with my new one? Would you switch to that or not? This would be very cool for your audience, like a series, basically, how I'm upgrading my swim bag. Something like that. Try to motivate them, because they are motivated by making the audience be interested. So series and episodes work good on YouTube. Once you watch one video, if there's like a episode number 2, everybody clicks on that to watch what else has happened. So try to think from their perspective. They want to have more audience, more followers, and more engagement. Try to make your product be interesting or somehow fit into what they currently are doing. So it's an art in itself, and it's not so easy. You have to be quite creative yourself if you are going to do influencer marketing.
As far as the do's with running an affiliate program, a lot of these things are kind of, I would say, similar. I would say that the number one do with an affiliate program is you do want to make sure the incentive for your affiliate program is a little bit more attractive than what you would offer just your customers. So you definitely want to do that, especially when you're thinking of affiliates and influencers, because just by nature, they have a wider audience. So they're going to command a larger and a higher incentive. That's the only thing that's really going to excite them, because they're approached all the time by different brands. So you definitely you do want to offer a higher and more competitive commission or incentive for these affiliates. Another thing that you want to do for the affiliates is you want to make sure that whatever affiliate program that you're using, you're able to provide them with clear reports and information, because the affiliates are a little bit more savvy, and they're going to want to keep more hold on their activity, and they want to make sure that they can easily see that, make sure it's up to date, and all the information that you're able to provide to them is going to be relevant to their activity, to their sharing. So even if you have a breakdown on the stats that they make up when they're sharing on Facebook, Twitter, the LinkedIn, those type of things, you definitely do want to provide those things to the affiliates. For example, one of the things that I see a lot of affiliates will ask for is, with some of the affiliate programs, including the affiliate program that we provide in our affiliate software, is a lot of the affiliates will want to see a statistical breakdown of their sharing activity across, let's say, Facebook alone, because with many affiliate solutions, they have built-in social media integrations where the brand can allow the sharing of a specific post with the graphic and text. These affiliates are going to want to see, okay, how many clicks am I getting on that specific post on Facebook versus Twitter versus LinkedIn? And so, that's kind of what I'm talking about. You want to make sure you have that in place, where that information may not be as interesting to just a customer that's doing a referral to their friends. They may not be concerned about that. The affiliates definitely will be, for sure. You don't want to do with the affiliate program, I would probably say, there's probably a number of things that you don't want to do. I would say you don't want to get out there and then just expect to approach like a huge celebrity and expect them to just promote your brand, because unfortunately a lot of people have that misconception that they can just approach any of these celebrities and then get them to promote their brand. It's not that easy. You've got to have the relationships already in place, and you have to have the money to be able to pay them. I was talking to someone yesterday and telling them about the Kardashian family. For them to do just like one Instagram post, I believe their going rate is at least a couple $100,000 for one Instagram post. So unless you have that kind of money monetarily, then that type of thing is out of the question. So you don't want to think about going that route. But one of the things that you don't want to do is with an affiliate program is you don't want to discount the local affiliates. And we talked a little bit about that earlier. Even though an affiliate, let's say, has maybe just a few thousand followers in a specific niche, the thing that people don't realize is those people that are considered, I guess, local affiliates or local influencers, even though they have a smaller audience, they're not a celebrity, they're not the likes of the Kardashians and things, they have a higher engagement with their audience, and they have a tighter relationship with their audience because they're dealing with a smaller amount of people. And typically people that are in their audience and in their network are people that they have closer relationships with. They could be a lot of people that they've actually met, people that they have close ties with and are in constant communication with. So obviously right there, the bonds are going to be stronger, and anything that they do or they promote, people are going to appreciate it more and obviously kind of take their word for it more. So yeah, I would say, yeah, you definitely, you don't want to discount that. And a lot of times I see people doing that. Everyone thinks big. Everybody wants to think, the likes of all of these celebrities and the entertainers, but you don't have to do that. There's definitely enough food on the table, so to speak, for everyone to eat when you're thinking about the levels of influence that a lot of these local influencers have, people that have smaller followings. So for sure.
Obviously, influencer marketing, affiliate marketing, you can reach out to a bunch of, of influencers or affiliate. These are the cool ways to get, more and more sales and traffic on Amazon.
If you'd like to use influencers, rather than just work towards becoming one, there are a few tried and true strategies. First of all, influencer frequently on the big marketplaces. If you want to learn more about the industry of influencer marketing, there's a great blog. It's called Influencer Marketing Hub. They do tons of blog articles and resources and tips to let you know how to use influencer marketing effectively. There are big marketplaces available where influencers are there waiting to be, There are big marketplaces available where influencers are waiting to be contacted and have all their information. They've been verified, and you can work directly with them. Or the other thing that you can just use is the hashtag in your industry and look to see who the biggest poster is on Instagram in particular, and then just reach out to them directly. The benefit of reaching out to them directly is you don't have to go through a marketplace, but then you would have to set up a one-on-one deal directly with them. And influencers come in a variety of ranges. So from what you might call a micro influencer, which has maybe less than 1,000 followers, and it goes up from there. There are 5 or 6 levels of influencer, all the way up to what you would call the celebrity influencer that has typically over 1 million followers. And so at every level, they'll want something different. A micro influencer frequently will work for free product. And a celebrity influencer frequently will want a 6-figure, payday. So there's a broad spectrum. And so your strategy depends on your budget and the types of products that you have to potentially give away. And so it's a little bit of one-on-one personal outreach to get an influencer plan going. But once you find some good people, then you've got the opportunity to work with them for the long term and turn them into almost what you could call a brand ambassador, where they do stuff maybe a couple times a year, or maybe they do stuff comprehensively on a blog article, on their Facebook, on their Pinterest and Twitter and Instagram, and you can work with them for the long term in a holistic way. I would say that the break into strategy there is find small influencer, micro influencers that do it really well, work with them, and then if you get lucky with a few of them and they really catch fire, and in a year or two they have 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, but they know you from the beginning when they had 1,000 followers or 3,000, then you've got a relationship with them. So it's almost like cultivating it is what it is. It's cultivating a celebrity or an up-and-coming celebrity. It's a talent management discipline. Yeah.
Working with blogs, famous blogs in your environment or in your market, let's say, or bloggers, and using other platforms to generate, like Facebook or Google, generating traffic to Amazon if you're on Amazon or other websites. And the key is generating a lot of traffic.
And also on Instagram, you can reach out to the influencers, right? Influencer marketing it's very huge and it's very niche oriented. And so you can search the hashtag on Instagram, like health bloggers from India, from US, from UK, right? So if you have a health product, right, you want to promote something like a weight loss product, right? So you can find a niche Instagram influencer, and from there you can easily promote your product, like give them some kind of good offer to that influencer, like make a win-win deal with that influencer. Like you are paying him, like for every sale you will pay that influencer like 10% of the sale or 20% of the sales. So influencer marketing, I have been seeing like a lot of e-commerce big experts, like I have been in touch with them, and I have taken some interviews. If you go through my blog, you will see interview of Ernest Apps, Timber. They are very huge e-com experts, and they have been making 7 to 8 figures annually from e-commerce business. So they have been using influencer marketing at a very huge scale. So you can try influencer marketing and promote it to a very niche audience.
Affiliate programs. So there are many different agencies that are buying advertising space, and by making a contract with them, investing in them, you can get some pretty profitable sales as well.
We won the trust of people back then when we did the cold outreach. I think it's still the same formula. First, the email that you send out or the message that you send out on LinkedIn always has to be first say something positive about them and why you reach out and where you found them. Like, hey, I really love your store because of XYZ, or really love your blog, or like this article, etc. Because this disarms them. If you reach out and you like immediately want something, then they shut down. So it has to be about them. Secondly, you tell them what you do. In our case, it was like, hey, we provide CDN services, makes your blog load faster, it's good for SEO, blah, blah, some benefits. And then give some credibility. And then we listed like a few big customers of ours that were using our service on this. It's something that worked amazingly well for us. One of my companies, which is TaskDrive, we do sales development as a service, which means reaching out to potential customers and starting the conversations and then handing it off to our clients. And it definitely still works if you have the right angle, if you have the right email, if you have the right offer, and you talk to the right person. This works. And ideally, if you have some brand recognition already in the space, then it becomes super, super easy. Then people, like once we did this a while and we had like some bigger guys using us, they were delighted that we reached out. It's like, oh, that's so cool,
Well, I tried influencer marketing and it never went well for me. Again, my approach may have been, that was early days of influencer marketing, so nobody really knew at the time how we should do it. So I did, I contacted a few influencers, you could call them, and gave them some ideas of how they could promote my stuff to their audience, and they did, and nothing really happened. Although the audiences looked real and looked big, so I think it's similar to Facebook ads, I think. So expecting that an influencer will put up something and then you suddenly get, a spike in sales is, again, possible if you're an expert. And, I'm not an expert here, so obviously ask somebody who knows more about that. But I think, again, pixeling, retargeting, all those people that visited through the influencer is probably a more realistic way to get sales, rather than to hope, okay, this Instagram person will just put the post up and then suddenly, magic happens. So I definitely failed there.
An affiliate program is a program where a business owner would recruit outside affiliates or outside people that have not used their products or services. They're not customers, and they would be promoting the products and services to people that they typically don't know. So maybe they have their own audience and they're promoting the products and services to people they don't know for a commission.
Influencer marketing, which takes a long time to build up, and you can't just pull the lever overnight. You've got to create relationships, you've got to find the right people. But one of my clients sold out a product when it hit, a new product just before Christmas, through using his influencers and no advertising spend at all, which is an amazing endorsement of the fact that that really works.
For example, if there's a YouTuber with 500 subscribers, like sending him a product usually is worth it because it's going to cost you $20. And if you get like 2 sales out of it, and it's worth it, then the only thing, one other thing that's going to do is just bring more traffic or just more eyeballs on your brand. Because when they search your brand on Google, some of the times the videos are going to pop up, but also when they search on YouTube, they're gonna see there's a lot of results about your brand. And if you send like a product to someone that has only 500 subscribers, usually they're gonna work a lot harder to promote you than someone that's a bigger influencers. So when you promote, like you use very, very micro influencers, usually like it's incredibly cheap, and they're gonna work a lot harder for your brand than like the bigger ones. So that's really how we've used YouTube, but I'm not the one in charge of that part.
Try to make some cooperations with influencers, which wants to have my products and to promote it via their community. And maybe the idea is to give them some split of the share, some split of the share, if they can promote this product over a long period, so that they can make a profit out of it, and we also can make a profit out of it. And I think that's the best idea we want to go into the next month.
So how does this influencer outreach, how does the step-by-step look like? If I'm a beginner, what do I do? Like, how do I know who they are, or like, what's the things?
Yeah, so at first I go to Instagram, for example, and searching for hashtags related to my content. So if I try to sell garlic press, so I'm searching for garlic press, a hashtag garlic press, or cooking with garlic, or something else, and searching for influencers or for people who promote their recipes or their products related to this topic. And after that, I'm support the existing posts to show that I'm interested in this content. And after some days, I try to contact this influencer per direct message and tell them where I am and what I'm doing, and if he or she is interested in a cooperation. And after that, we try to make a video chat or something else to get to know each other, and to look if we can work together. And after that, we try to make a deal.
So how does your message look like to that influencer? Like, what do you say to get their attention?
Maybe you can try to say, yes, I saw your post about the garlic press recipe last time. It sounds very good. We are also offering garlic presses and some other stuff around it, cooking with garlic topic. If you're interested to make some promotion, feel free to contact me, or if you have any other information or any other contact who's trying to or wants to work with us, feel free to send us this contact. It's also a good idea to send a voice message or a video message to this person, because text is, some influencers get a text message every day, and so it's, with a video message you can get their attention. So in a video message, what would you say? Like the same, like what would you show in that video? I saw your post last time, and this was very, very inspiring. And I'm also in the garlic press business, and I would love to work with you. Are you willing to connect and make a short video call? We can discuss some things, and would love to hear from you.
There are some products where affiliate marketing works really well, and there's some products where it just doesn't have that same pull. And so you have to look at the type of product. Is it industrial? Is it B2B? Is it a CPG product? Is it beauty or fashion? All of those things will determine the best method. But unfortunately, there's no one size fits all. Affiliate marketing is great because, like I said, it's low cost and convenient, and you only pay after the fact. But if you want to cover some of the other additional ones, we can kind of look at the whole scope, and then people, as they understand what the options are, can decide, oh, I think this is a good one for us to try, or this might be a good fit for our brand or product line.
Then influencer marketing is just influencer marketing. If you think about it, is just SEO. Because I mean, does it make sense why backlinks and SEO works to you? Because it's
sure.
I mean, all SEO try to do is say who's the most popular on the internet, and what are they talking about, and who are they linking to. So if I get a link from the biggest websites, that is technically the influencer, they link to my webpage, then my webpage goes up Google ranks because I've been promoted by an influencer. Influencer marketing has always existed. So yeah, this is just, there's new spins on it, and now people are calling it influencer marketing, and that means, putting your product on a girl's Instagram page or something like that. People have simplified it, but it's everything. It's everywhere. So yeah, of course it works. Start with researching a list related to your audience. So, if you have coffee cups, then it's coffee lovers. If you have fitness stuff, it's fitness people. The more specific you are, the better. So, I mean, if you've already created your product for a specific audience, then you're in a great place. But let's say you've got, fitness bands for women. So you would go and look for women's fitness blogs and women's fitness authors and women fitness anything, like anything related to that niche. And you could go off inside niches as well and make it relatable. So fitness might connect with health. So you might connect with doctors, or it might connect with mindset health, mental health. So you could connect it to that as well. And you could find different partners in different ways. And then you make you make an offer, or you make them see the value in what you're doing, and you offer some value to them. That's the most important thing. Always offering value to them first. So with your product, it's very easy with an Amazon product because it has physical value. So you can simply offer money off that product, money off that physical value product. It's a very simple one. You could offer free access to a digital component of your course. There's a bunch of things you could offer to people that would make them want to promote. But in the end of the day, you might just have to pay someone to promote you. And that's just, again, it's affiliate, it's influencer marketing. You'd pay for a Facebook ad, you'd pay for a shout out on an Instagram story or whatever. It's the same thing. So that's a few ways you could think about it.
Things that you can do that I've seen work really well recently is Instagram and going after influencers. A lot of people in my community are doing that and having success. So it's not necessarily like going after the Kim Kardashians of the world that have millions of followers, but finding these micro influencers that have thousands of followers, 10,000 and above. Those folks have a crazy amount of engagement on their pages or on their feeds because their followers feel like they know them. They're inviting those folks into their lives every day with stories. And when those, and I know my wife follows all these ladies that are fashion bloggers, and they're always pitching clothes and bracelets and shoes, and my wife buys that stuff. And so just think of the power if I'm an Amazon seller and I have a product that I think is a fit for this lady or this guy's pay their followers, pitching them saying, hey, I have this product, let's do a deal together. And it's not right now, currently, it's not very expensive to get somebody that has 10,000 followers to do a deal with you. Even sometimes they'll do it for just free product. So that's something and it's like their followers trust them. And so if they pitch something, it means a lot more than them seeing an ad somewhere. It's, oh, Courtney, I've known her for 6 months now. I see her every day. I see her daughter there. She's a real person, and she thinks this gadget's going to be great for us. She loves it. I'm going to buy it. So that's something that we've seen really pop up in the last year or so that has been successful. It's something that's inexpensive now to test, and for $100 or sometimes even just free product, you can get somebody to put a post out there and see what happens, and get some sales that way.
Reach out to these influencers. Your message should be very small and very clear. Just try to make a very good deal with them. Don't just try to oversell yourself, right? So my message would be very short, like, hey, how are you? This is my product, and I'm looking for you to promote my product, and I'm willing to offer you a special discount coupon code for your readers, and this will give them 10% discount, and for every sale I will pay you like 20%. Here is my product link. If you are interested, just let me know. We can find a win-win deal. Just keep it very short and sweet to all those Instagram influencers, and try to find a niche influencer. Don't go like, okay, this guy has this girl has 1 million followers. Try to find that engagement is real or fake. Like a lot of some influencers, they have a fake followers, right? So you need to be very careful, like seeing the engagement rate, like how much traction they are getting on the comment section. Is their followers are real or fake? Like a niche audience, like they have followers from US or UK, right? So you want to promote your product to US audience, for example. So you need to make a proper research here. Like, okay, this guy has followers from US. If I try to promote my health product here, so I will get at least 10 or 20 sales. And if he have like 1,000 followers, maybe 1,000, 5,000, just don't look for the number of followers. Try to find that person has a very niche audience and very niche engagement. Like a lot of people are just looking for the followers, and they just try to promote the e-commerce product, and they don't get sales at all. So when I try to promote my own product, so I will always look for my niche audience, and the followers are real, like engagement is real. So whether they have like 10,000 followers, but from that 10,000 followers, you might get 100 sales or 20 sales, and these sales can be a big number for you.
One thing that worked amazingly well for MaxCDN, which was not e-commerce, but you can apply the same thing to the e-commerce business, was we reached out to influencers in the space. With MaxCDN, we targeted bloggers, and we reached out to them saying like, hey, would you like to test out the CDN? If you like it, you can keep on using it. And it would be awesome if you write up an article reviewing the experience using MaxCDN. And feel free to trash us if you don't like it, or write something good if you like it. It's up to you. But yeah, just please check it out. And we pushed this really hard in the beginning, and it took us a few months, and we ranked number 3 or number 4 within a few months for the keyword CDN, which is kind of a big deal, which was a huge driver for our success. And you can do the same thing with your e-commerce brand, like find influencers, find bloggers, and reach out to them, say like, hey, do you mind if I send you this and you review it? Good way to get backlinks, and you get exposure to the right people. And maybe once you add it, you can ask them to do a raffle, saying like, hey, please review this. I'll send you 5 more, and you can do a raffle on your blog and raffle 5 more of these products off to your audience. Therefore, they have to share this on social media, so it's like creates buzz for him, creates buzz for you. Everybody wins. His audience is happy, he's happy, you're happy.
Big fan of influencer marketing. I used it to promote Free Up. Now, everyone wants Gary Vee to promote their product, right? Just by having a VA constantly reach out to Gary Vee, probably not going to work. Well, most of the Amazon sellers, and I was just at Seller Summit with Steve Chu, he was talking about this. You find the micro influencers, the people that have a few thousand followers at first, and then maybe tens of thousands. A good example was someone I talked to who sells this barbecue sauce. So he found these influencers on Instagram who have 10, 20, 30,000 followers. They're micro influencers. They're not the Kardashians, but they've got a good following of people. And they make a lot of videos about grilling, about cooking meats, about different ways to prepare pork and beef and all that stuff. And they sent them some free products, or they first had a VA reach out to them to set up a call, got on the call, built the relationship, sent them some free products. And all of a sudden that influencer is making videos and posting pictures of a really nice slab of meat plus that barbecue sauce. So that's really how you use the influencer marketing. The VAs, they're a lead gen tool. They're there to do the manual work that you don't necessarily have time for. So what I like to do is create a process where I get the VA to understand the type of influencer that I want to work with. If I'm selling the barbecue sauce, Kim Kardashian is probably not the right influencer. Even if I landed her, it'll probably get sales, but that's not my ideal person. I want to go after people that are in the cooking space, or that maybe they do stuff with barbecue, whatever it is. So I really identify what's good and what's not good in terms of the micro influencers, teach them to do research and put it into a list. You can then look at that list and provide feedback. Maybe say, hey, this is perfect. This is an A influencer if we can land them. Or, hey, this person, I see what you're trying to do here, but it doesn't make sense for XYZ reason. So you'll give them feedback. It'll take a little bit of back and forth, but this person's also pretty affordable, around $5 an hour, so you can spend that extra time. And then from there, come up with some different emails. I like to come up with 4 or 5 different emails that are saying, hey, I saw your Instagram account. Like, hey, this is what I do. I'd love to set up a call. I'd love to connect, whatever it is, different versions of that. And then you can actually have the VA send those emails to the influencer. You can either direct message them on Instagram or whatever platform it is, or you can send them an email directly. There's a lot of free tools out there, like Yet Another Mail Merge is one of my favorites. It allows you to send custom email blasts to lots of different people. You can insert people's names and different things there. And from there, the goal is always to get them on the phone. You want to actually talk to them, build a relationship. And over time, that can be a very effective, cost-effective way to scale and grow your business, because you're really just paying for the VA. After that, a lot of the times it's free. There might be certain situations, and I've done it myself with Free Up, where a certain influencer has gotten to that point where they only will be on your podcast, or they'll only have you on it if you pay for it, or they'll only promote your product if you pay for it. And you can make those decisions down the line. But the VA can be that first step into getting you to talk to that micro influencer.
The other soft sell you can do is send this out to influencers, for instance, get them to use it. So Beats, Dr. Dre's Beats headphones is a really, really, really good example of that. All he did with most of his marketing was to actually ensure that almost every rapper on planet Earth was wearing it in their videos. And it's just like free marketing. Everyone's seeing this stuff on majorly influential people, and they're like, oh, I got to get those. I'll be honest, I'm a massive sound enthusiast. And when it comes to sound, I'm very particular. As you can see, like these, if you can see that, these speakers here are not cheap, but they're very well thought out in terms of what I actually love in sound. When I heard the Beats headphones, they're good, but not worth the money. But it was the marketing that got him there. So I think that demonstrating the product and either getting it to influencers is a great way to do a soft sell, getting them to use it so people see it and subconsciously want to buy the product. But I think the best way from starting a soft sell and then ending up in a, not necessarily a hard sell, it's more so you're demonstrating the product, you're showing them why it's great, and then at the end, guys, if you want a 10% discount off this product, I've managed to get a link for you. Check it out if you want. So it's like, you don't have to buy it, but I've just given you a whole demo. The fact that the person who's watching the video, for instance, is likely to buy it because they're already interested. They're right to the end of the video, and then you're making that little, let's call it a medium sell. You're doing a little medium sell. They're likely to go and click on the product and go ahead and buy it. So that's how I personally do most of my soft sells. There's no real other techniques that I personally use for soft selling.
And one of the things that you can do to try to track and find these affiliates is, well, for one, these days, because everything is wide open, these days you can do your own grassroots reach out and investigation. The bottom line is you can check social media do searches for people that have a high follower count, have a high engagement. One particular strategy that I tell people all the time is we'll go back to the fashion industry. So let's say you're selling fashions. Let's say you're based out of the city of Chicago. One thing that you can do is go onto Instagram and do a search for hashtags. And one particular hashtag search could be Chicago, hashtag Chicago fashion blogger. And believe it or not, if you do a search for that hashtag, it has been used several thousands of times. And obviously, anyone that is using that hashtag in a post, either they're a fashion blogger or they're somehow related to a fashion blogger or some type of fashion brand. Nobody's just going to haphazardly use that. So doing that, you can will return results of people that have used that hashtag. You can go into their profiles, do the investigation, see how many followers they have, and then approach them. Send the direct messages, send the follow-up emails if you're able to get their email. Go that route. Now, I know that it could be a time-consuming process, it's just the traditional outreach. The one thing, the next thing that you can do to kind of expedite that process is try to associate with some of these influencer networks that have just come out lately in the past few years. When I say influencer networks, there's a number of companies out here. One of them being influence.com is one of the bigger ones, where you can, as a brand, go on there and they have a database of influencers where you could pay a fee to get access to this database. And it's almost like a dating service or matchmaking service between brands and influencers. And so you could look at their profiles, you could see their social media links, investigate them, say, okay, great, this looks like a good match, and then approach them and then let them know about your affiliate program. And from there, it's really kind of up to the brand to negotiate whatever they want to do. So there's several of those types of databases out there. So I would say definitely take advantage of that. Those are two of the main ways, like I said, the ground roots. And outside of that, there's also other ways to find affiliates. There's Facebook groups where affiliates hang out and communicate with. You can also look at some of the forums that are out there. There are affiliate marketing forums where affiliates frequent, where they're looking for hot products. They're looking to exchange information amongst their own community. And that's one way to do it as well.
Big mistake I certainly made that mistake. How I started is you go to a platform like, Thomason, or there's so many platforms nowadays, and you type in, your niche, your product, whatever, and you're looking for people, and you see how many followers they have. And so-and-so has 1 million followers. Oh, no, it's only going to cost me $40 or $80. Great. And you try it out and nothing happens. Nothing at all happens. It's all about the engagement. Anyone can go out there and buy influencers. Now, is that such a common thing as it was a year, 2, 3 ago? No. People would go buy, followers. It's not as common now. It still happens. You need to look at their engagement, and you really need to do your research, just like with anything else. So again, you want to understand who their followers are. Are they really your audience? It might be the same industry, but a totally different audience. So you need to just spend some time. You need to look at their profiles, see what type of posts they make, see what tone of voice they're using, and look at their engagement. If they're not getting any engagement, it's not worth it. So if you're an influencer, even if you have a smaller audience, you've only got 10 or 20,000 people following you, you've got a really good engagement rate. That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. So that's what I look for, and it takes a little bit of time to do that legwork and to understand. And if you can, I always recommend that people comment on their blog or start to engage a little bit. And especially those smaller influencers will often respond to you, and you can build a little bit of rapport. And then when you're ready to say, hey, you know what, I've got this brand and I sell these pens and I love your artwork, if it's an artist, and maybe we could work together. They're much more easier to approach, because you have to understand too, these influencers, they're there for a reason, to be influencers, and they're probably getting approached by all manner of people all the time. But for them, they need to protect their business too. If I'm an artist and I draw with these types of pens, and I've got an art company that only does watercolor painting, it doesn't really, that's not my audience. They're following me because I draw with pens, not with paint. So you need to understand their perspective too. They don't want to do anything to damage their opinion in their followers' eyes. I think that's very, very important. And most people don't really kind of think of it from the other side of the table.
I ran a brand last year that was like an MMA brand, actually for the last couple of years. And we had a lot of cool people we sponsored. They had 500,000 Instagram followers, 1 million Instagram followers. They'd post with our stuff in them. And it never really saw an uptick in sales. Like, it was probably helpful for the brand in general, but we never saw like, okay, this person with 500,000 followers said, hey, this t-shirt is now on sale. And now we sold a bunch of those t-shirts. It wasn't that direct. It was more of kind of a subconscious thing that people felt more trusting probably of the brand, opposed to a call to action thing where they felt like they needed to buy that brand immediately.
One thing we did was that one of the nutriment brands we were working with is they had in the US a lot of, which is a very habit in the US of having brand ambassadors, and they would have people. It was a nutriment brand, and it was people doing sports, so professional sportsmen and sports women, and they would have linked to their pages, and they each of them would have a small community, and then it's giving them coupons or giving them specific bonuses they can give to their viewers. And linking their pages to your pages. So we were using a lot of that for the A+ or EBC content. We're featuring all the professional people which were sponsoring the brand. And they, most of the time, have a community also. So if it's another way of finding in sports, that's very common. You would do that and find someone who can endorse your brand and talk about your product.
I think... There's a saying out there that is basically, if you want money, ask for advice. If you want advice, ask for money. That sort of thing. So I think counterintuitively, if you build some relationships where it's just about asking for feedback, ask for feedback about your product from an important or influential person, and that'll be a soft intro into them either giving you feedback, which of course is very valuable because they're in the space or they're an influential person, or they may actually buy one and then tell people about it. I think, but asking for feedback without expectation is an old school, really neat sort of organic way to drive some growth.
You have a page with all the reviewers and the successful reviewers of Amazon, specifically in the US. You can have a look at the different reviewers and see if they have a YouTube page or a YouTube account or a different account, and approach them and say, okay, if I sent you a product, you make a review and you make a link to our product page, for example. And that's a kind of partnership. You will have to look for people, and in some instances, the most popular ones probably have a lot of demands, but you can look into your category, look on Google, simply on YouTube, look for the people who are making reviews and who've got enough, viewers. And the idea is always you give something for free, and they have to look at something, and you generate traffic this way.
Another amazing thing is finding a poster child. So another amazing trick to promote your product is finding a poster child. In our case with Maxien, it was Mashable. We reached out to Mashable, said like, hey guys, we pay for an ad on your site. We give you the CDN for free. All you have to do is link at the bottom tool to Maxien and have like a little badge that says powered by Maxien. And we got a bunch of people through this channel, but also just being able to name drop saying that they're using us was amazing. So we had, I was on a lot of sales calls where they said like, okay, you can stop pitching. You had me at Mashable. I'll use you guys. So having this poster child, if you can showcase that a celebrity or even like some influencer that people may know is using your product and is endorsing your product, I think this will go a really long way.
There's a couple of things I can think of. For one, as a brand, most of the brands, especially brands that are doing a lot of promotion, they have access to a lot of professional developers, web designers, graphic designers. And I know one of the things that, and photographers, one of the things that the influencers may need is, maybe they need to improve their presence on a particular platform, or they may want to do a cleanup of their, let's say their Facebook page or Instagram page. As a brand, like I said, you could offer them some design services, or, maybe you have a designer that, maybe does some things on the side. Maybe you can, point that particular influencer his way, or do something for them, pro bono, so to speak, where you can provide them with some graphic creative services for them. So I would say that's one thing, because I know that's something that they're always looking to do. They're taking tons of photos. They're doing constant graphic design work. They're constantly rehashing their images and things like that. So I would say that's number one. Number two is going to be just giving them access to people in your network. I'm sure that as a brand, you probably have relationships with other brands that they may want to get to know, because their whole thing is they're always going to be looking to promote other brands. And, as you already know, it's all about relationships. And if they don't have a way to get into the door to talk to such and such brand, you could give them an introduction. And I think that would probably be the number one thing that would go the furthest for them, is just giving them those introductions to people within your network.
You will have a limited number of influencers in your own area, right? But in general, when you look at the whole spectrum of influencers, there will be those top ones which have over 1 million followers, in Instagram, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Totally avoid those, because they have bombarded with every day. Your idea is to go to micro influencers, but not to those who have only 20 followers. So I would start maybe with 1,000 followers on Instagram and probably 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a good start. That's when they have a little bit of engagement already with each of their video and photo, and it's gonna be more than nothing, when they post, because you need at least 100 eyes for one conversion to happen, right? That's, let's say, estimate. I'm taking that number from my Shopify page conversion rate, because 100 eyes come and only one converts, right? So there will be maybe even less, because they are, not so interested in your product yet. So keep in mind that, there will be a big range. Just make a list and see what you have, and start with the smaller ones.
When it comes to influencers, most people, right up front, they just want to know, they want to know what they're getting into, right? So don't, just be straightforward, right? Get to the point. Everybody's time is very important, so make sure you're, just like I said, upfront and honest with what you're looking for. I think that's it's kind of a big play, and with them, right? What's in it for me? So what's in it for that influencer, I think, is an important thing to keep in mind. Yeah, so you've got to provide value. What that value is definitely varies depending on the person and the product. So for instance, I think something that anybody can offer is, where are you, like, so if you're going to an influencer for marketing purposes, what are you going to do with the content that they give you, right? So it's, I don't know if you want a picture or an interview or a video or whatever, but what are you going to do with that content? And where is it going to be posted? I think those are, I don't know, I guess that's it.
You have a general approach with a micro personalization involved. So you have a general approach where you reach out to almost any niche the same way, or any influencer the same way, right? With the same email, with the same offer, with the same everything. When you start getting replies, or even before, you've personalized just a little bit of the email, so that they know that you've read their blog, you've looked at their stuff, but the meat of the content, the meat of the offer, of the idea that you're offering them, should be the same for everyone. So that's an easier way to scale. Than you don't want to write a unique email for every single person. That would take way too long, right? Accidental reaching out as well, which I love to do, which is where you're researching, and as you're researching potential partners, most people, as they would research, they just write them down. What I like to do is while I'm researching them, if I read something interesting, I'll quickly shoot them a really fast message or a comment or anything, just saying, hey, I just checked this out. This is awesome. I love it. Or just like, or I just read your coffee advice on the 3 ways to have coffee. That's wicked. I'm going to share this. Something like that as you go through your research. And then later on, when it comes back to actually sending them a proper offer, you can always reference that. So, you know, that might even be a foot in the door. I've had that turn into promotions before when I've talked to people. So that really works as well. So that's a good thing you can do.
I would say if it could be either way. You know, they already have experience with brands. They're already doing it. It's not going to be a weird thing for them to open up a direct message from you asking about potentially promoting your product. They already get these types of direct messages all the time. So it's not like it's going to be new to them. The advantage, they may already have a link they can send you to on their website that says, you know, we'll do this for X amount of dollars, or for a free product, we'll do this. They may already have that. It makes it easy to work with them. Those are probably going to be people with larger audiences, but don't neglect the people with smaller audiences, because usually the people with the smaller audiences have the bigger and the best engagement. There's actually a site, I wish I could know off the top of my head. There's a site that measures engagement somehow. You can put in somebody's Instagram handle and it'll tell you, like, give you a number, and it represents how engaged the audience is. And so I mentioned Kim Kardashian earlier. You know, she has millions of followers, but they're less engaged. They don't feel like they know her. But you get somebody who has 5,000 followers, they feel like they know that person, and they interact and engage with that person's Instagram better, actually. And so don't neglect these smaller ones. A lot of the ones that might be under 10,000 followers may have never even been approached by a brand before. So it'll be exciting to them. Oh, wow, somebody approached me today. They have a product they want me to push. They might not have a procedure for that. So you might be able to just send them your pillow, and they tell people about it because they got a free pillow and they're excited about that. And they'll talk about it on their stories or in their posts. So definitely reach out to them as well, and just test them, because it's not expensive right now. At least yet it's not. So a rule of thumb I heard from my buddy Jason Miles, who's a master at this. He wrote the book Instagram Power. He said it's about, I think, 100. You can expect to pay about $100 for every 10,000 followers they have.
Like a video for every single product that we have. And when we launch it, like we use that video both on the enhanced brand description and also on the YouTube channel. But yeah, we do what I mentioned with like people from YouTube. Because if you search the brand, you're going to see like a lot of unboxing videos of our products. So we just use YouTube as like a way to promote. And we're not great. I haven't dealt with that. We used to have someone that was actually, his job was to reach out to people and get partnerships. So with other brands, with influencers and all that stuff. So we've had a very high number of like unboxing videos, and a lot of people are gonna just be happy with the product. Like if you have we have a lot of smaller channels, and what we do is you just send them the product, and usually they're very happy with that. And for example, if there's a YouTuber with 500 subscribers, like sending him a product usually is worth it, because it's going to cost you $20. And if you get like 2 sales out of it, and it's worth it, then the only thing, one other thing that's going to do is just bring more traffic, or just more eyeballs on your brand. Because when they search your brand on Google, some of the times the videos are going to pop up, but also when they search on YouTube, they're gonna see there's a lot of results about your brand. And if you send like a product to someone that has only 500 subscribers, usually they're gonna work a lot harder to promote you than someone that's a bigger influencer. So when you promote like you use very, very micro influencers. Usually, like it's incredibly cheap, and they're going to work a lot harder for your brand than like the bigger ones. So that's really how we've used YouTube, but I'm not the one in charge of that part. I don't know what the real definition of micro influencer is, but I mean, like if you go on someone's channel and they have like 1,000 subscribers, but every single video they make is like 10 views, then like probably you want to be like take into account both the number of subscribers, but mostly the views are more important ultimately. So just there's no real number, but it's up to you. If they get about 100, 200 views in average, and you send them like a product for $20, maybe you're gonna get one sale, and it's fine if you don't even get a sale, but just get more exposure, because if you don't get a sale now, it doesn't mean that like they're not gonna remember your product when they want to buy ultimately. So ultimately, just the more people that see your brand, usually the better.
Well, you're just looking at, so if a follower or if an influencer, is making an average of 3 or 4 posts a week, you want to see if those posts are being responded to. Are they being liked? Is there comments? Is there conversation going on? When you look at some influencers and you look at the profile, and it's like an empty cave with an echo. It's like they're posting, and they might have 1 or 2 likes. That's it. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's engaged. Nobody's really interested. What those followers bought, I don't know. Maybe they've got great followers, but their content isn't engaging enough for people to justify responding to, and they're maybe not that good of an influencer. I don't know, but you want to just see that there's some conversation and some interaction going on.
Sometimes they're interested to work with me on some kind of partnership, maybe sponsor reviews, interviews, or podcasts, something like that. But after 3 days or after 7 days, they are not replying back to my email. So what I do, I just keep a follow-up emails. Like after 10 days, I will drop 1 more email, and after 1 month, I will drop another email follow-up. And still, if they are not interested, then I would think like they are not I think they are not interested, and then I just do the last follow-up on social media, like on Twitter or on LinkedIn or on Facebook. If that person is available on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, I will do the last follow-up. And if he gives me any kind of response on social media, then I will just try to make a deal with them. And if they are not interested, then I stop doing it. Then I just try to find another set of people who are interested to work with me. So that's it.
Having a couple strategic influencers is very powerful for whatever you're trying to sell. So whether that's like one that's expensive and then just taking that content that they create and then amplifying it, that's useful, or having like a bunch of micro influencers all kind of talking about you at the same time, that's another strategy. So I think what's helped me a lot is finding somebody who's has an audience that's already existing, getting them to record video content for my brand that's like high quality, they do a good job, giving me rights to use it, and then using ads to amplify that content. So that gives you a better chance of getting a sale, because you have that social capital sort of built into that influencer. They can look and see they have a following. They're somebody that hundreds of thousands of people trust. So this must be a brand that I can trust too. And just getting as many people to see that as possible. Look for engagement with their content. What type of people are commenting on their content. So if you go to YouTube, for example, like that's probably my favorite place to find influencers, just because so many people use YouTube. I think it's like the number 3 traffic site or number 2 traffic site in all the world. If you see like somebody who they post a video and 2 days later they have 20,000 views on it, and there's tons of comments, hundreds of comments. These are people that are watching all their content. They trust what they're saying. They would pretty much buy anything that they tell them to. So this is a lot more valuable than somebody that just has 100,000 Instagram influencers and or followers and 5 comments. They're probably just getting fake followers. You want somebody that has real engagement.
What always works good, I can see that a lot with big nail polish brands, that they always say like, create your own look and then share it, and if we like it, then we will feature it on our story. And it doesn't even have to be that those people who use your product and share it on their Instagram, they don't need to have 10,000 followers. If they have 300 or 1,000 or 2,000, that's already enough. Also because most of the time, the people that follow them are really engaging with the content because they're friends and family. So if they use your product and they recommend it on their channels, a lot of other people will see it and like, oh, this looks cool. And maybe ask this person questions like, oh, how long does this nail polish stick? And I'm like, 1 week. Oh, 1 week, that's long. I will buy it too. So something where your customer has to be creative and can prove that they know how to use your product. And then just, promise them that you will feature them on your website or at least like it, whatever. I mean, there's software for that. So they feel appreciated and think they get some reach for their own channel.
Why would people do that? Why would people let us use their content for free? And the answer is very simple. They want the notoriety. An account that even has 1,000 followers has energy higher than an account that has 100 followers. And you know how it is. If you have an account that has 100 followers, you look up to somebody who has 1,000. And if they reposted your content and gave you a mention, then all their followers will click through and potentially follow you. And in a niche industry like gardening, then if you've got an account like we do, close to 200,000 followers, when we post someone's image and say, tell us what you think about Becky's awesome backyard vegetable garden, and we link to her Instagram profile, we tag her in that, she's thrilled. I mean, she's getting a flood of new followers that are in the industry that like the topic and are then now following her. And so that energy creates an ecosystem where the bigger account can, in essence, I guess in spiritual terms, be a blessing to the smaller account. And the smaller account, though, is providing a real valuable service, which is photos or video that can be used for free on the larger account. And we've done that now for 5 years, and it's totally skyrocketed the brand and the presence. We do influencer shout outs. I'm in conversation with 2 big greenhouse companies about getting free greenhouses in my backyard because of the opportunity to do influencer work with that account, because we're focused on that niche. And we've created a niche brand in that space.
You'd want to make sure that, do they have the type of audience that you're looking for? Are the people that you need to reach with your product, are they in that influencer's audience? Does your influencer even promote products? If they're already promoting products, it's a natural. You'll see, find somebody, you can look at somebody's feed and see if do they already have companies giving them product, and they are, essentially promoting them for a company. It'll say sponsored in their post usually. Just trying, is it a right fit? Is it a fit for your product? Essentially is the number one thing. Do they, based on what they've promoted in the past, based on who you feel like is in their audience, would your product be a fit for them? Would be the first thing. Coffee, we tried to do a coffee brand that didn't go so well. Very competitive, and I mean, could we have made that work? Possibly, but thousands and thousands of dollars and probably a lot of time trying to make that happen. Now I probably would do that over again. I'd probably find an Instagram influencer and make it about some type of cause, like this coffee, and find a place we can buy it from that helps local farmers, help them feed their family and make it about a cause, because Instagram influencers love that type of stuff. So I would probably, that's not even a bad idea to resurrect that and use that strategy.
Once you have a great listing, then work on the marketing and driving customers to your listing. Some of the things that we do that are a little bit different probably and that are working well for us is really focusing on Instagram and growing our Instagram audience and partnering with what we call micro influencers. So influencers that may have 2,000 or less followers, but are really passionate and engaged in the space that your products are. So for example, if you're selling scarves and there's an influencer in fashion and apparel and accessories, and they have 1,000 or 2,000 really passionate followers, that can be a lot more valuable than an influencer that has 100,000 followers that just like that person and aren't really passionate about anything. So we've really focused on building relationships with micro influencers in the categories where we sell products. And then how we convert on that is we work with them and partner with them on doing a blog post about our products and doing a contest and a giveaway. And then we try to engage with the customer.
It's so random. And once you think you figured it out, you realize you haven't figured it out. I mean, I'll try sending short emails that are just like, hey, saw your account, would love to connect. And sometimes that hits gold and people want to read short emails. And sometimes I'll write a longer email describing my service and who I am and my story. Sometimes stories are really nice. And the thing about contacting influencers is you don't want to bother them. You don't want to harass them, but you are going to have to follow up. So a reasonable follow-up a month later being like, hey, I just want to make sure you got that, without getting aggressive, without getting frustrated or annoyed, that's going to come into play too. So there's different things that work for different industries. You have to remember that the influencers can be busy on a different scale. I'm dealing with a lot of business influencers with free up. So they're running their own business. They might be a lot busier than the person who's making barbecue videos on Instagram. I have no idea how busy or not busy they are. So you kind of want to adjust it to the person's lifestyle, the person's tone, how they write, how they communicate with their audience. But there's a certain level of trial and error and just randomness. I mean, that person might be having a great day. That person might be on vacation for 2 weeks and your email gets buried and you have to follow up again in a month.
There's organic referral. That's where other people link to you on their websites, and then you can pay for that as well. Influencer marketing falls into that category.
Creative word of mouth, and probably you've already said you've heard of it, is just reaching out to these influencers, these people that have these audiences that aren't millions but are thousands, and them telling their audience about it. It's way more powerful than me trying to reach that person because they don't know me yet. I'm wanting them to know me, but if I get to them through that gatekeeper, then that gives me credibility when that gatekeeper is talking about me and my products. I wouldn't say it's creative. It works though. I mean, it may not be something, it's not radio and TV and newspaper, what people did 20 years ago. Of course, really Instagram didn't exist then. But with these influencers, you're able to target pretty well. You can, I'm not going to probably with a cosmetic type of product, I'm not going to approach a group of men. I'm going to find the ladies of Instagram that would fit with, versus like radio and TV. It's just kind of blasting it out to the masses and hopefully it hits something.
I like to use every single channel, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, but I don't abuse every single channel. I'm not sending 50 messages on Facebook every day or 25 on Instagram. That's a good way to get your account banned. So what I do, and it's the first thing I do every morning, I actually have a virtual assistant who sends me my hit list for the day. And over time, let's say there's a really good conference as influencers, I'll just email them a link to that conference, the URL, or if I see a Facebook post where someone has tagged a bunch of people that are the ideal person that would be good for me to work. Or let's say if you're the barbecue person, you come across some people in a magazine and it's talking about the best chefs in New York. You can take a picture and send it to your VA and they'll add it to this lead gen list that's just constantly building and building and building. And at the beginning of each day at 7 a.m. every morning, I get an email or actually it's a Google Doc. It's put in a Google Doc saying, hey, here are 3 people to contact on Instagram. Here are 3 on Twitter. Here are 2 on Facebook, whatever it is, small numbers between 1 and 3 per channel. And I'll just reach out to them. And it's usually a pretty short message, would love to connect, whatever it is. And I mean, it's like any other type of sales and lead gen. Some people are not going to respond. Some people are going to respond. You don't want to just pitch. Just pitching is bad. I don't message someone and say, I own free up. This is what we do. You should use my service. No one's going to respond to that. It's, hey, how can I add value to you? How can we connect? How can we talk? I don't have an agenda. I just want to set up a meeting. And from there, I mean, it's up to you to build that relationship on phone calls or Zooms or whatever it is. But you can use different channels to get different people. I mean, some people check email every day. I have assistants that monitor my email 24/7 to make sure nothing is missed because I have a lot of important clients emailing me there. Other people, like Liran, he sent a screenshot where he has like 2,000 unread emails. So you can send him 8 emails and he probably won't get any of them. But if you send him a message on Facebook, he responds in 2 seconds. So sometimes you have to find the right channel and experiment and try different things to get a hold of someone.
Is there anything else at all that you could offer as value to those influencers?
It depends what you've got. If you've only got an Amazon product, it's probably the only thing you can offer.
So what's a good idea? Like, what is good value for people other than money? Like, what else influencers care about? Maybe, what can I give them?
Okay, well, for me, it would always be dependent on my skill set because I could always offer advice or, part of my skill set, internet marketing, digital marketing, stuff like that. But for someone else, they may not have that, so I couldn't say that. Generally, influencers want to give their audiences good value, right? Good content. That's the most important thing. They care so much about their audience. And the audience is the most important. When you offer value to an influencer, it can't just be to them. It has to be to them and their audience. So it has to be, your audience will love this coffee guide and you can shout it out for free and I won't charge for it. So it's something for your audience. It's something for you. Something like that is very, very beneficial to an influencer. They really, really care about their audience. The most important thing.
There's a lot of networks out there that'll help you with this sort of thing, but I actually think if you're a new startup, you probably bypass the networks and just go straight to the YouTubers yourself. I think you just jump on the platform and, it's so valuable to understand the actual videos that your target customer is going to be watching as they go through the purchasing process. So try to, dive into the platform and you want to find the channels that aren't huge yet to the point where they're on all these networks and, that's when it becomes expensive. There are a lot of people right now trying to start these unboxing channels that the only way you can really contact them is to go to their YouTube profile, their Twitter, basically finding through their actual social media profile how to get in touch with them. And then messaging them, whether it's Twitter DM or whether it's, I know YouTube, I think, just shut down their messaging capability. You used to be able to do it through YouTube. But most people are going to have on their YouTube profile either a link out to their website, a email address that you can, hit them up there, or Twitter or something like that. And you just want to get in touch with these people and say, hey, don't make it sound like you're a brand new company in general. I think that's a bad idea. Make it sound like you have a really quality product and you're trying to get it out there to the target customer. And I can't tell you how many people I talk to that don't even, I talk to a lot of people that don't even really have a conversation with these people. They basically say like, hey, I got some free product to send you. They get an address, they send the product, and then the product just magically appears in a YouTube video 2 or 3 months later. Now, again, I don't think you want to bet on that. Like try to follow up and make sure that your products are being placed and things like that. But it just shows you, I think, the growth that's happening there right now. There's a lot of content creators that do not have the products for these unboxing and these comparison videos, and they're desperate for it. So you really don't even have to give them compensation. And I'm seeing very strong sales, especially for new Amazon sellers, come in from that method. Now, it does depend on your niche a little bit. If you're selling like, some type of diabetes, something, medication or something, it's probably not going to work as well. But yeah, I think it's a great strategy if it kind of lends itself to your product and your market.